Hi Scorpio, Happy New Year and welcome to your January astrology. And the month begins with all of the planets moving in a direct motion and Venus having just gone into Sagittarius, and on the 1st, Mercury going into Aquarius. And then on the 3rd, Mars going into your sign in Scorpio. So the year really begins with a lot of this intense energy, this movement energy, and really feeling that things can move. Planets are all moving forward. Venus just made a shift on December 30th. Mercury makes a shift on January 1st. Mars makes a shift on January 3rd. So all of this energy of moving, and you can really feel that this is my year to move forward. I'm really going to move forward. I'm going to make things happen. I'm going to get in the groove. And there is a lot about getting in the groove, getting in the flow of life. And you can start off this year with a lot of that. There's tremendous support for you for communication this month, communicating with others. If you journal, if you write, if you record, all of that, lots of energy for that. Connections, a lot of mind, mental energy. Now, when Mercury goes into Aquarius, that particular thought can be dip into an arena where you are rethinking, where you live. Do I like where I live? What do I want to change? You might be totally content. But when it dips into your area, that area of where you're living, there can be something that you decide to do a little bit different, especially around anything electronic or anything electrical that you might want to upgrade or do, make some changes around, even if it's just moving things around a little bit. Now, a deeper level of this meaning is that things can come up, bubble up from within, different memories, and it can be triggered by events or people that connect with you. Childhood memories, early memories can bubble up in the early days of January. Now, Mars going into Scorpio. This is a big deal. Mars is going to go retrograde in Sagittarius in April, and it goes back into Scorpio, so it's going to spend a long time in your sign. And that actually can be very good for you, although it's a little bit like a hot iron. It's like, don't get burnt, because it's so strong, you might end up offending people without even knowing it when you're on your way to get what you want. But that Mars in Scorpio is inspiring you to do what you need to do for yourself. What is it that I need to do? There's a lot of thinking this month. So there's a lot of what is it? I already know what I need to do for myself. Well, do you completely? Because the universe is saying, hey, take some more time to rethink some things. Because there could be even more that you haven't considered or totally embraced that you may want to do for yourself. That's pretty strong here. And this first week of January, when Mercury goes retrograde on the 5th, so there's a shift of thinking. And Mercury, around that time frame, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, there is a connection with Mars, which represents argumentative energy. And this can be a time, especially if you are very, very early Scorpio. If you were born, October 23rd, October 24th, you might feel this a little bit more. Get out of my way. Do I say what I'm thinking, or do I just keep quiet and let them, not share exactly what it is that I'm thinking? But a lot of mental energy is going on at this time, and again, especially if you're a very early Scorpio, about what to do next, it's like instigating the thought process. Jupiter goes retrograde on January 7th, so here's another shift of energy. And Jupiter retrograde it's suggesting that there's opportunities to expand your friendships, to expand connections, expand people that can be supportive for you in some way. Sometimes it's about joining a group or connecting with a group of like-minded people that is around a particular subject that you are very interested in, and exploring what they have to know and sharing with them what you know. Now, the new moon is on the 9th, and this new moon is very intense. You may know enough astrology to know that there's something that's called the moon's nodes, right? The north node, the south node of the moon. Well, every planet has its own node. And the planetary node of Pluto is very closely connected. It's not exact, but it's only 1 degree off with this new moon. And Pluto, as your modern day ruler, has a deep affinity to you. So why I'm telling you this is that this new moon has a deep connection with you to go deep. Now, can you go so deep it gets very dark? It's like, how am I really going to do the things that I want to do? How can I figure it out? You'll figure it out. But know that there is this depth that the universe is allowing us, is supporting us to go into, and it's not to get trapped in the cave. It's not about getting trapped into this overwhelming sense of feeling of how do I get out of here. But it is about being willing to go deep to discover what you didn't know you didn't know. It's about discovery. So this is a time of deep discovery for you. And like I mentioned before, there's a lot about if you are a writer, and even if you aren't, I would suggest getting a little notebook and journaling this month, especially around between the 1st of January and the 10th of January. What are my goals? What are my dreams? What are my aspirations? What messages are coming through to me? What is my higher self giving me in terms of ideas and thoughts and visions? Because it can be very, very profound. Now, then after the new moon, we kind of have a little bit of a break from all this wave of energy after energy. And it's a time where I think we'll just be getting into the new normal of the year, the new groove of the year, the new routine of the new year. And then on the 20th, when the sun shifts into Aquarius, that is, that's a time frame of new, brighter ideas. Again, it will be emphasizing a part of your chart. It's like, okay, am I happy with where I'm living? Am I happy with where I'm living in my body? Not only my location, not only my apartment or my home, but where my soul is living, my emotional state, how I think. So there's a shift about looking at, wait a minute, I have control over how I think, or if I feel that I don't, let me make some changes here. I have control over how I feel, or if I don't, who does? So there's a shift of looking within to having this mental shift about being at peace and in charge of where your spirit lives, as well as other practical sides of life. Now, the full moon is on the 23rd. And that full moon energy, Mercury's station is about ready to go direct on the 25th. That full moon on the 23rd is highlighting that inner world and that outer world. So this inner world for you is, that inner contentment. Do I have enough time? Or do I have too much time where I'm in my mind, in my head, all alone? Or is it balanced with what I want to do out in the world? And so this illumination can come, especially by the 25th when Mercury shifts direct, of knowing, this knowingness of the right balance between your inner world and your outer world. So thanks so much for listening, Scorpio, and have a really happy new year. and happy January.